Hello and good evening. I'm Joy Holt reporting for the 18 WJTS News. On Saturday evening, the Jasper police made an arrest after a driver almost caused an accident. At 6:30 on Saturday night, a Jasper police officer stopped 44-year-old Jeremy Hammers after the officer observed the 1991 Ford driven by Hammers in front of him that failed to yield while making a left-hand turn, causing the northbound traffic to stop suddenly, almost causing an accident. Upon investigation, it was determined that Hammers was intoxicated and had a .21 blood alcohol level at the scene. Hammers was taken to Memorial Hospital to be medically cleared, where he then tested at a .26 blood alcohol level. He was then lodged into the Dubois County Security Center and charged with operating while intoxicated, an OWI endangerment, and OWI with blood alcohol count over .15. In other police-related news, actions from concerned motorists and 911 dispatchers helped prevent another impaired fatal crash out of Warwick County. On Saturday afternoon, shortly after 3 p.m., Warwick County 911 dispatchers received several calls from concerned motorists about a white 2011 Chevrolet Cruze traveling recklessly westbound on I-64 from the 50-mile marker. Motorists informed dispatchers that the vehicle had already driven into the median on 3 separate occasions. Sergeant Tom Weber responded to the area and spotted the vehicle at the 33.5-mile marker, which is west of the Linville exit. The vehicle was weaving from the shoulder on the north side of the roadway to the median on the south side and was traveling in excess of 80 miles per hour. The vehicle finally stopped in the middle of the left lane near the 31-mile marker. In my 23 years of service with the Indiana State Police, this was the worst driving he'd ever seen, said Weber. The driver was identified as Galena G. Witt, 19, of Evansville. Weber detected a strong odor of marijuana, and Trooper Michael Finney and his canine Boomer conducted a search of the vehicle and located several blunts with suspected marijuana and a glass smoking pipe. Witt was very lethargic and had slurred speech. Troopers also found 1 hydrocodone pill inside her vehicle. After failing 3 field sobriety tests and submitting to a blood test, she was arrested and taken to the Warwick County Jail and charged on driving while intoxicated and 3 different counts of possession. Witt was later released after posting bond. Indiana State Police want to thank those concerned motorists and 911 dispatchers who took the time to share and gather information so this impaired and dangerous driver was located and arrested before another serious or deadly crash occurred. As of now, the DNR reports that 2016 will go down as one of the deadliest years for deaths attributed to ATV accidents. State officials are ramping up efforts to make this year safer. The DNR reported that 21 people died in ATV accidents in 2016, which was a sharp rise from the 16 deaths recorded in 2015. Public Relations Captain William Brown says the agency is making ATV safety one of its top 4 priorities in 2017. Currently, no state law requires ATV riders to wear helmets. Regardless, Brown says he wants to see more dialogue. January is National Radon Awareness Month, and state health officials are encouraging Hoosiers to test their homes for the cancer-causing radioactive gas. Radon is the 2nd leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA estimates radon is responsible for approximately 21,000 lung cancer deaths a year. The risk for lung cancer is especially high for smokers exposed to high radon levels. Radon is a tasteless, colorless, and odorless radioactive gas that comes from the natural breakdown of uranium in soil, rock, and water. It seeps through cracks and gaps in floors, walls, and construction joints, and around service pipes. It accumulates in the air, within homes, and in drinking water. Radon can be found throughout the United States and can get into any type of building. The greatest exposure risk is at home, where people spend the majority of their time. The only way to know if your home's radon level is to test for it. Radon test kits, which can be found at local hardware and home stores, are economical and take a few minutes to complete. Hoosiers should retest their home every 2 years. The 2017 legislative session is officially underway, with both chambers of the Indiana Assembly reconvening last week. This year, lawmakers will address various issues facing the state while also creating the next 2-year budget to fund all state government services, including education, infrastructure, and public safety. While the budget will be the primary focus, there will be hundreds of other bills filed throughout the legislative session. District 48 State Senator Mark Messmer of Jasper has authored a pair of bills this year, Senate Bill 128 and Senate Bill 283. With this bill, Messmer says local counties and towns would be able to partner with port authorities in our state to apply for this grant program, possibly leading to additional road funding for our state highways, bypasses, and interstates. Another bill filed by the senator is Senate Bill 283. Messmer says it deals with pyramid promotional schemes.
Senate Bill 128 is aimed at developing regional infrastructure by allowing local communities to pool their resources so they can apply for federal Fast Lane grants from the Federal Highway Administration. The Fast Lane grant program tackles the issues facing our country's highways and bridges by providing additional funding for critical freight and highway projects across the country.
You can contact Messmer's office directly with your questions and concerns by email at senator.messmer@iga.in.gov or by phone at 1-800-382-9467. The Greater Jasper Consolidated School Board reorganized for the 2017 calendar year Friday morning, and with reorganization came a new board president. Longtime board member Bernie Vogler will now hold the gavel as he was selected as the board's new leader. Vogler has been a member of the Greater Jasper Board for the past 18 years. He will replace another longtime member, Nancy Habig, who decided not to run for re-election and stepped away from the board after 32 years of service. The last 16 as board president. Vogler says he is looking forward to serving the board in a new capacity and following in Habig's footsteps.
I'm happy to follow her. She set the example of how board meetings ought to be run, and I just am hopeful that I can do even close to how smooth she did it.
Vogler, who has served as the board's vice president for the past 8 years, will preside his first official school board meeting as president later this month. He says he and his fellow members will have a lot of tough issues to tackle in the coming year.
We're going to start the discussion about our elementary buildings and how to proceed with that, and also some of the issues like the turf at the football field. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's another issue that will be coming up. We're going to try to maintain a good balance in the bank so we can operate this corporation smoothly, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Others elected as officers include Ken Schnaus as vice president and Greg Eckerly as the board secretary. The remaining members include Arlette Jackal, who, along with Eckerly, was elected to new 4-year terms in last November's general election, as well as newcomer Tim DeMott. DeMott takes over Habig's seat after defeating Mark Kunkel in that November election. The 40-year-old Jasper attorney was sworn in at the beginning of Friday's meeting. He says he's anxious in serving the Greater Jasper District.
I'm ready to get involved with it. It's been a real long road to get here with the election process and then winding that down and getting set up with the internet and getting my email account and all these the minutia of it. I'm ready to get in and start doing it after 7 or 8 months of working towards that goal. So I'm excited, and everybody's been wonderful to me joining the program. So I'm excited moving forward.
Board members set their annual allowance Friday morning at $2,000 a year. They also reappointed Art Nordorf Jr. as board attorney at a retainer of $6,500 and Monica Young as treasurer. Their next regularly monthly meeting is set for Monday, January 23rd at 7 p.m. Stay tuned. Up next is your forecast from Southern Indiana weather.